this is me, your brother Aiedee, the man who believes in community development through general knowledge, public issues, and evangelism. It is very important for a man to know about where he lives and how he lives. That is the general knowledge and public issues. General knowledge is to be aware how we live, where we live. The public issue is to be aware about the issues surrounding us, the moral and the immorality surrounding us today and as always. The plane is meant to fly on two wings. The plane cannot fly on one wing. So, a man is created to live in the spirit and in the flesh.
My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His grace is why I'm living. Praise His holy name.
The Bible is not written to program us like it's being used today. The Bible is written to moderate our lives. We have options, we have decisions, we have will, we have our own head to think, but we need guidance, and that guidance is the Word of God, is the Bible. Okay, the main issue I want to talk on is the difference between word and life. I am an African, and most of us, like my African friends and family, when we want to leave our African countries, we will tell our friends and family that we are going out of this country to go and look for a better life. It is not well said. There is no better life anywhere. Better life is in you. A better life does not have to reflect public opinion. A better life is how you see it. A better life is how you want it. A better life is how you make it. A better life depends on individuals' effort and idea. A better life is not in anywhere else outside of you. You are totally 100% in charge of your better life. It depends on how you see it, your idea, and your effort. That is a better life. So we that left home, we Africans that left home in search for a better life, it is a lie. We did not leave home for looking for a better life, because life is life anywhere. If you know what is life, when I say life, I mean life. Life as in life, as in when we say the characteristics of living things, that is life. We breathe, we feel, we ease ourselves, we eat, we go to the toilet, we take a bath. That is living, that is life. So that is that anywhere you are in the world. So a better life does not have to reflect a public idea. I repeat, a better life does not have to reflect a public idea. When I say public idea, that a better life does not have to, your idea of a better life does not have to reflect public opinion. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. My idea of a better life does not have to reflect public opinion. But my idea of a better world must reflect public opinion. I am talking about the difference between word and life. Your idea of a better world should and must reflect public opinion.
My God is awesome.
Brother Aiedee, what is the difference between a better world and a better life? A better world is where everything functions for you to live your idea of a better life. We that have left Africa, we did not live in search of a better life. It is not well said that we are going to look for a better life. No, a better life is already in you. There are people in Africa that are living better. If we want to actually talk about better life like we can commonly understand, there are people in Africa that are living better than the people in Europe, whether black or white in Europe. So there is a better life anywhere, anyhow. There is a better life anywhere, but there is no better world everywhere. So what is a better world? Like I have said before, a better world is where everything functions. You see, No matter how difficult it is for you as an African to secure a visa to leave that country to any European or American country, it might be so difficult, but I tell you in a nutshell that it is still much more easier for you to leave Africa than to go back to Africa after you must have left. It is easier for an African to leave Africa to come to Europe or America than to go back. Why? It is difficult to go back when you have tested a better world, not a better life. You might even be living the worst life in Europe, but you don't want to go back to Africa because of the better world. You might be living the worst life, as in poverty, as in lack of job, but you will still like to remain in Europe because of the better world, because of the organized world. So a better world is where is organized for you to live your idea of a better life. Africans did not leave home because of a better life, because most of us did not leave Africa to come and look for work in Europe. Hey, don't be surprised to hear this. We left Africa for a better world, and when we get to where we are going, we find the better world, we forget about job. We don't come here to look for job. We don't come to America to look for job. We don't come to Europe. We came for a better world, not for a better life. We came for a better world. That is why we are here. We are in Europe, America, Asia, wherever developed country in the world we are. We are there because of the better world, not because of the better life. Better life is everywhere, but it is hard to see a better world. Better world is about the organization or the political organization of a country, economical organization of the country. All these are what bring about better world. If you want to talk about in search of job, people have to go to Africa to look for job. The European people, the American people would have to go to Africa to look for job. Brother Aiedee, why did you say so? I said so because Africa as a whole is an underdeveloped continent. So why is it underdeveloped? It is underdeveloped because it is not developed. In a common sense, where you have developed and where it's not developed, where do you have more work to do? In an undeveloped country. So there are works in Africa than in other parts of the world. Africa has not been exploited. There is so much work to do in Africa. But we don't want to do the work because the environment is not conducive. The kind of work we will not do back home in Africa is what we do here outside the continent of Africa, our own continent. Why? Because of the organized world. We are comfortable doing it in the organized world. When you want to go to work that takes you an hour to drive to, you feel comfortable because the road is good. When you come back, you have electricity to enjoy. When you want to buy fuel in your car, you don't have to be in queue. Organized world. And I want to tell you something. If all the Europeans are asked to go to Africa and all the Africans should come to Europe, I tell you, in 10 years after that interchange, the Africans will still start to look for visa to go to Africa from Europe. I don't know if you get that. Let me take it again. If you pack the whole of Africans and you bring them to Europe, hello? Then you now pack the whole Europeans, you pack them to Africa. I'm talking about mindset now, mentality. In 10 years after the changes, Africans from Europe will still start to seek for visa to go to Africa, where they came from. So that is a word there. I am saying that as the problem why we are not an organized world. It is due to laziness and mindset, mentality. That is why we are not organized. That is why our government is not organized. And not until we are organized, there will be no African that will not want to leave Africa. Everyone wants to live, not in search for a better life, but in search for a better world. in search for a better world. So we did not leave Africa looking for a better life. We left Africa looking for a better world. And to get a better world is about hard working. It's about love for peace. It's about knowing what life is all about.
My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His grace is who I am living. Praise His holy name.
It is a pity that Africans have failed to realize. I have said this before somewhere, that when a servant gets married in his master's house and give birth to children, I said the servant, the children, and the wife, I said that the servant, the children, and the wife are all servants to the master. Why did I say so? I said so without mincing words, that wherever we are in the world as Africa, we are welcome but not accepted. What kind of a statement is that? We are welcome but we are not accepted. Yes, welcome is to let you stay. Welcome is to take you as if you are one of us. Welcome is to give you chance to walk. Welcome is to give you chance to live. Welcome is to give you hope. Welcome is to accommodate you. So we are welcome but not accepted. Then why are we not accepted? Excuse me. We are not accepted because we are welcome as apprentice. Apprentice is when you learn, when someone that is learning work from the master. That is an apprentice. So we are welcome as an apprentice. We are given all that we need to succeed, all the opportunity, the facility that we need to succeed. So why are we welcome as an apprentice? We are welcome as an apprentice to learn and go back and develop our home, because we have a home.
My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His grace is who I am living. Praise His holy name.
So we are not dying in the sea to come to Europe because we are looking for a better life. We are dying in the sea to come to Europe because we are looking for a better world. And to create a better world, it takes understanding how life goes. It takes general knowledge and public issues. If you are so concerned about spirituality, evangelism, you cannot create a better world, but you can create a better spirituality for the people. But we don't have to live in the spirit alone. Like I said before, the plane is meant to fly on two wings. So a man is created to live in spirit and in body, in flesh and in spirit. So you cannot just be talking about the spirit, churches everywhere, telling us about heaven, making us to forget about now and where we are on earth, and thinking about heaven. A man that lives in the future will never bother about his present. And that is dangerous. That is the state of Africa. When you live in the future, not thinking about the future, when you live in, because when you are being bombarded with spirituality, heaven, and miracle money, the Lord will supply all your needs according to His riches in glory, without explaining to you what it means and how this can happen. All your mind is focused on heaven. You will go to heaven. I don't mind how I live now. When I die, I go to heaven. Hey, who told you that it doesn't matter how you live now? When you die, you go to heaven. Before you go to heaven, you have to live. Before you die, that is what one does before dying. All we need to do before we die is to live. And to create a better world depends on every one of us, especially the leaders. It depends on us to choose the right leader, and it depends on the leaders to know the right thing to do. So we should know the difference between a better life and a better world. A better world is an organized place where you can live your idea of a better life. A better life does not have to reflect public opinion. A better life depends on individuals. Your idea of a better life might not be my idea of a better life, but we can all live our idea of better life irrespective of who and how we live. But if we are living in an organized world, there will be peace among us. So it is important to have a better world for us to be able to live our idea of a better life. This is for Africa.
My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His grace is who I am living. Praise His holy name.
I am not a preacher with experience, but a preacher from experience. A preacher with experience is an eloquent preacher. A preacher with experience is a preacher that knows how to hold the microphone. A preacher with experience is that preacher who knows how to capture the audience attention. That is a preacher with experience. But the preacher from experience is a preacher that preaches his own life and what he have seen and what he have lived. Because the problem we have today in the world, we don't come out to speak our experience. And all our experience is for a purpose. We have to have a special experience to know how this life goes. And most of us have had this special experience without speaking out or speaking up. So not until we decide to come out to speak about the experience God has made us to pass through, we will never be able to make other people better. You see, whether you fail or you succeed is all experience. Come out and speak up. When you read a story of a successful man, you just read a story, an interesting story. But when you read a story of a man that has faith, you will learn lessons and not be entertained. So you don't have to be perfect to be a preacher, but you can become a preacher to be perfect. Thank you very much for listening. And don't forget, this is me, your brother Aiedee, the preacher with testimony.
My God